Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, tonight... Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I lost my train of thought. No, tonight, I want to talk about Bitcoin, of course, and how the Bitcoin holders, all-time high, are buying the dip. Right? Why are they buying a dip? Well, I'm going to explain why, and also talk about what to look forward to with U.S. markets that's about to reopen tomorrow after a national holiday. So let's talk about that and talk about some altcoin news. So let's get started. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com and make sure you follow a brand new CryptosRUs Clips channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was going to say morning, but it's not morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So Bitcoin is still holding above 20,000. Right now, 20,500. Hey, that's not too shabby as we look forward to tomorrow. U.S. markets, well, right now the futures are indicating tomorrow we'll go see some green. Dow plus 300, NASDAQ plus 138. This is, of course, after last week, which was absolutely horrendous, right? But let's see what happens. I think this week will be a crucial week, determining if we will continue our recovery or if we're going to see some more weakness falling back down. But no doubt there are a lot of people that are buying the dips. Okay, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Now, as for this week, what may be driving the U.S. market this week, and of course, it's Wall Street and traders determining whether or not the U.S. economy is going to get worse. If the U.S. economy is going to go into recession, not only that, but maybe deep, deep recession, and the economy comes to a crawl, right? But right now, it's unknown at this point. You got guys on one side that's saying it's going to get very, 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 very bad. Inflation is going to be very bad. Economy is going to slow down to a crawl, and everything is going to be all doom and gloom. But there are some, including all the Fed chairs and presidents, are saying maybe it's not going to be that bad. St. Louis Fed Bullard says that U.S. economy is still expected to expand this year. Some are predicting that the GDP of the United States will shrink this year. But Fed Bullard thinks, no, it's still going to increase, just not as rapid as last year. So that's not too bad. Even President Biden and Treasury Secretary Yellen says that, you know what, it's not certain that the U.S. economy will fall into recession. Well, of course, he has to say that. But he is insisting that, hey, it's not set in stone, right? Maybe things will get better. And even Cleveland Fed President Loretta says that, hey, I'm not predicting a recession. I think inflation will move down, right? So there are people on one side, mostly the Fed presidents and chairs, think that the U.S. economy is not going to be so bad, despite all the rate hikes, right? But are they believable? Is Wall Street going to believe that narrative, right? We don't know. So let's see what happens this week after that last tremendous, horrible week. Are we going to see a good recovery week this week? So far, right now, Bitcoin does seem like it is in recovery mode, and we could be seeing 21,000 in no time, right? But there's one thing that scares me a little bit, and that is this. ProShares is about to launch their short Bitcoin ETF this week. Now, the good news is this is based on Bitcoin futures, okay? So Bitcoin futures is still settled in paper. We have Bitcoin long ETFs, now short Bitcoin ETFs. They're all cash settled with Bitcoin futures. However, what fears me is this, that the whales that's been manipulating the market, now they have an ETF that can help them gain while Bitcoin declines. See, that scares me a little bit. So I don't look forward to this, but the very first one is coming this week. Now, the big Bitcoin ETF that we all are looking for is the true spot Bitcoin ETF. Still not has been approved yet, but Grayscale is trying their hardest to get one through. They've been talking with Gary Gensler and the SEC for quite some time, even made threats about how if they're not approved, they're going to be bringing on a lawsuit, right? Or waiting for that to be approved, and will it by the end of the year? Maybe. I think that could be a huge catalyst for the market, right? But in the meantime, there's this, not a catalyst in my opinion, but you know what? It's coming. All right. Now, besides this, what else is going on? Well, what about Bitcoin, right? This Bitcoin wallets that's holding 1+ Bitcoin, right, is at an all-time high. All-time high. And the further Bitcoin drops, it seems like, the more it's climbing. So Bitcoin holders are not only buying the dip, the number of Bitcoin holders are increasing. And this is very, very, very encouraging. And this shows that there are many that are taking advantage of the dip. Even family members, friends and family members. To my surprise, they're more interested in asking me about, should I buy the dip right now than should I sell right now. There are many, many that I know of that are holding on Bitcoin and crypto. And to my surprise, they're not asking, okay, is Bitcoin going to zero? Should I panic sell now? No, they're asking, should I be buying more, right? And this chart concurs because there are so many that have come to understand what Bitcoin is all about, and they want cheap Bitcoin. They want to stack sats, and this shows. And there's many other wallet sizes above 0.1 Bitcoin, above 0.01 Bitcoin, above 10 Bitcoin, and you'll see they all pretty much show the same thing. They're all heading up and making new highs, right? So this is definitely very encouraging and positive, and what I like to see. Part of the fundamentals I talk about, right? The growing fundamentals, and some I would argue shows that Bitcoin has never been stronger because of this. Too many people focus only on short-term price, short-term volatility, right? And I know that's important, of course. Most of us are in it because we want to make some life-changing wealth from it. But this does show you that there are a lot of patient investors, not just traders looking to make a quick buck. Many are taking advantage of the situation we're seeing right now, right? So that is awesome. Now, what else is awesome? There's a lot of other indicators out there. This is the net unrealized profit and loss. This is one of the most basic models that people look at measuring whether or not Bitcoin is at a bottom. And you can see every time Bitcoin gets down to that low level below zero, right? Basically measuring unrealized profit versus loss. And the more people that are in unrealized loss, right, the more likely Bitcoin is going to come up. And right now, we're at the same level as that COVID crash in 2020. That's how oversold we are. So this, very encouraging as well. Did we find that bottom at 17K? Well, this is one of the indicators or one of the metrics that show that it's more likely than not than yes, right? So there's that. Also, there's a lot of TA. People are looking at Fibonacci levels. Here's one on the weekly scale that shows that we have hit the same level, the 0.382 level that we saw back in 2018, not even 2020, 2018. When we formed that bottom, we went sideways a little bit and then recovered. And it's the same thing. This is on the monthly scale, even going back to 2015, 2018. Now, looking very similar, settling at that same level, the 0.382. So even from a TA perspective, there are many positive things to look at. And also, taking a look at this, so many people focused on a 200 weekly moving average. But guess what? That nasty downwick that we had in 2020, right? We actually pretty much hit a 300 weekly moving average. So forget a 200, 300. We did slightly hit that before a bounce. And guess what? We're right there, right at the 300 weekly moving average as well. So we have hit it just like the COVID crash in 2020. So again, right, using history. So, or we go repeat. History doesn't usually repeat, but it tends to rhyme, right? So it doesn't mean that's going to be exactly the same way. But again, you put all this together, still with the growing number of holders, that is what's most important. And you put it all together, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good right now, all right? And, of course, we know that there are many, besides myself, it seems like I'm the only Bitcoin bull out there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not the only one. There are so many people that are staying focused and helping people stay in the game. And even President Bukele of El Salvador also is doing the same thing to his countrymen and for everyone else, right? He tweeted this just yesterday. I see that some people are worried and anxious about Bitcoin's market price. My advice, stop looking at a graph and enjoy life. If you invested in Bitcoin, your investment is safe and its value will immensely grow after the bear market. Patience is key, okay? So he's the long-term holder now. Michael Saylor has converted El Salvador's president to be a long-term holder, and many others are following, right? So again, have patience, HODL, and DCA if you can. It's really that simple. All right, now what else is there? I don't know if this is a good thing, but JP Morgan is still very pro-Bitcoin, and pro, I guess, crypto. Just recently, we saw BlackRock being pro-crypto, right? I said, I don't know about that, but maybe it's because they have accumulated enough. But JP Morgan also still kind of pro-crypto, saying that if you look at, this is interesting, if you look at stablecoins, it has been growing. In fact, you could utilize this as kind of like a overbought situation. If you look at the percentage of stablecoins in the whole crypto market cap, you can see, generally speaking, whenever you peak up, it kind of comes down, right? You get overbought, oversold. And right now, you're looking at there are a tremendous amount of money in stablecoins, which is still going up. So people are not just cashing out. They're just simply cashing to stablecoins. And once they can't get confirmation, unfortunately, most want to wait for confirmation, then you see that flood come back in, right? So according to JP Morgan, this is actually pretty positive that the number of stablecoins is actually going up. And when things do flip, well, then you got a tremendous tidal wave of money coming into the market, right? So I don't know if this means also JP Morgan, just like BlackRock, already accumulate enough Bitcoin. That's why they're turning really pro, because they want to drive things up. Could be. I wouldn't put it past either one, right? Especially BlackRock, who has been declaring that they've been sitting on the sidelines since 2017. Do I really believe that? No. I think they've been dabbing in, and they probably had their fingers and strings across many industries, including crypto, over the years, right? So there's that. All right, now just a few other small little news, whether it's good or not. You decide. Celsius looks like they're paying back their loans. They just repaid $10 million a DAI to Compound. They still have a tremendous amount on Aave, but this is a start. 10 million doesn't seem like a whole lot, but of course, they're trying to do what they can to repay back all of their loans. One of their big loans on Aave, I think it's the liquidation price at $14,000, right? And there's who knows what else is out there. But they are still working very, very hard to try to restore their services and restore liquidity. But unfortunately, while they're doing that, there are several U.S. states now investigating into Celsius, right? So this is probably the reason why Alex has to stay so quiet, because he's being investigated, and there could be lawsuits coming his way, right? But any update besides just be patient would be good at this point, because really no one knows what the recovery plan is, what the future holds, stuff like that, right? But there is one guy, Simon Dixon, who is the founder of Bank to the Future. He says that he has a plan for Celsius to help him get out of their situation. And he says he helped Mt. Gox do the same thing. I don't know. I don't know if I trust him exactly or his plan, right? And he also said that he helped Bitfinex come out of insolvency by issuing new tokens and stuff like that. Remember I've said Leo token, Tether, and all this stuff from Bitfinex. I don't think they're good things, right? So hopefully that doesn't lead to something like Celsius 2.0 or something like that, right? Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully they can just figure it out, get some massive liquidity, and get themselves out of this jam right now, right? Or this giant hole they're in. So we're still waiting for that. Although I know some people notice, well, Celsius tokens is, it's experiencing a short squeeze right now. It's skyrocketing. I would say, like I've been saying, be very, very, very careful about getting in on the Cell token pump, because I honestly believe it's whale driven. It's not. I don't believe it's investors thinking, oh yeah, I'll go pump Cell tokens. It'll help me take my money out faster. It'll help Celsius open withdrawals. No, that's not what it's doing, right? I do believe it's whale driven, and you got to be very, very careful, because when they pull the plug, it come right back down. So be careful about what's happening with Cell token right now until Celsius gives clarity on what they plan on doing. Be careful, right? Now, someone else that is careful is Voyager. Many people are asking, what's going on with Voyager? Why did they just borrow $500 million from Alameda Research, right? And this is spurring some other rumors about how, because Alameda Research is part of FTX, right? And people think that, I don't know where this came from, that somehow FTX Alameda is joining with Voyager to try to take down Celsius. I don't know where I think it's way out there, right? Way out in the left field. But anyways, but people are wondering what's going on with Voyager. I don't actually quite know. They're not very transparent about it, other than they borrowed and they have this line of credit for $500 million. Does that mean they also have crypto locked in, say, maybe in a beacon chain for Ethereum, or locked in somewhere else, or they took out loans? They said they didn't participate in DeFi. I don't know if that counts it. What about CeFi, right? Do they have a lot of liquidity locked somewhere else? So they're afraid that if a bank run happens, they don't have enough liquidity. That's why they have to take out this loan. Maybe. I don't quite know, right? I don't quite know. So right now, basically, if you hold on your crypto on any platform where you don't control the keys, be careful, because you just don't know what may happen, especially, I would say, companies that participate in lending and staking and basically giving you a ton of rewards simply by depositing, right? So be careful. Make sure at this point in time, right, to safeguard your own crypto as much as you can. I know a lot of you guys have a ton of tokens out there in many major exchanges, but who knows? We have seen exchanges go belly up, right? Not to say that Coinbase or Gemini or Binance or KuCoin will go under, but just be careful, especially right now, right? So make sure you learn how to use a hardware wallet or a mobile wallet or a browser wallet or any non-custodial wallet where you control your own keys, right? So you don't get in a situation like what we're seeing with Celsius. Last two things. Tether. I think I covered this before, but Tether was facing some ransom, demand. So they got a massive denial of service DOS attack, but they seem to have withstood it pretty well. They implemented Cloudflare, but one thing that is encouraging is you do see USDC now starting to rise up, and they're really close to USDT. USDT has been falling while USDC has been going up. And I like to see that because, again, still a lot of uncertainty around USDT with Tether. But USDC, I think, is a lot more trustworthy because they're backed by Circle on Coinbase, based in the United States. So there's a lot more scrutiny around their audits and stuff like that. So I do like to see that. So good. Good overall. Lastly, Rolling Stones and Bored Ape Yacht Club, they're joining together. So someone the other day said, oh, did you see what Bored Ape Yacht Club is doing or ApeCoin is doing? I'm like, I had no idea. But this is the only thing that I see because they have been moving up recently. So in, 2 days, you're going to be able to buy exclusive Rolling Stone NFTs utilizing ApeCoin only. Right? Remember when Other Side came out, it was supposed to be using ApeCoin only, but they had Ethereum instead, so that kind of ruined that. But this time around, it seems like it's only with ApeCoin. So if you're still interested, well, it's going to come out in 2 days. All right, that is pretty much it. And then lastly, look at overall market cap. Bitcoin dominance is still holding relatively low, has not gone up an inch or 0.1% at all. So that's pretty good. Overall today, you're seeing a lot of greens, a lot of projects coming up slightly. Not a big rally, not a big pump, but you're seeing, again, people that are taking advantage of low prices and DCAing. And that's the right way to go at it, right? So let's do some Q&A. I got 8-hour shift in McDonald's, big upgrade. Well, congratulations. I'm a soulmate. Okay, well, Soul's been attracting a lot of FUD recently, but there are still a lot of people that believe in Soul and Solana, and they're supposedly going to come out the update that fixes some of the previous issues. I think they're going to implement fees now to kind of prevent spam attacks. Let's hope they can fix things once and for all. Sir Winston keeps saying can't send anything on Voyager. I don't know if anyone else can verify that. I have not tried myself, but if anyone else is on Voyager, take a look. BlockFi had liquidity issues last year, and what do we hear about it? Crickets. They didn't have liquidity issues last year. They had problems with SEC last year, which I did mention a lot. And they still have SEC on their back. SEC they started going after every lending company, right? Started with BlockFi, and then went after Celsius. But, honestly, right now, as it stands, I would say all lending companies, right, they're under a lot of scrutiny right now. People are looking at Celsius, and guess what they're doing? They're associating with everything else out there. So I would say every lending company, even exchanges that offer rewards, right, are probably being looked at right now. So just be careful. Doesn't mean that they're all going to become insolvent. They're all going to go under. No, that's not the case. You always see bad actors, right, during these kind of scary moments, right? Their risk management, probably non-existent. They took too much risk, and now those risks are coming to light, right? Kryptonic. I don't have much money, but was thinking to put $800 in SHIB. I would have better chances of making more money when things go up. Then I have to sell SHIB. And okay, so you're trying to outsmart the market, basically. Okay, you're trying to buy an altcoin that will grow faster in Bitcoin. So then you could buy in Bitcoin, right? A lot of people do that, which is why you're seeing a lot of altcoins go up right now, and more so than Bitcoin. But there's no guarantee that SHIB is going to recover faster than Bitcoin. At this point in time, I don't know. I don't know about that, right? So don't try to outsmart the market. If you love SHIB, If you really love sheep, well, hold on some sheep. But if you're trying to buy sheep thinking that for sure it's going to outpace Bitcoin, then you can convert it back to Bitcoin. A lot of times when you do that, that's when you kind of hurt yourself even more. So be careful doing moves like that. American Shogun, thanks for all your advice the past 2 years. My biggest lesson learned is to take profits as we reach towards previous highs moving forward. I think that's good. That's good. I've been recently saying, it's important to have cash on the side, 20, 25, 30%, right? When things go back up, as your portfolio gets bigger and your cash percentage goes down, I think utilizing that method is a good kind of reminder to take profits, right? To keep that cash pile. So hopefully that helps. DZO. Hey, George, buying the dip, bring my average down, getting all my crypto out of Robinhood into a wallet. Thanks for a heads up, right? Even Robinhood, now I have not tried it. Robinhood supposedly came out a non-custodial wallet. I have not tested it, but yeah, getting into your own wallet. I mean, there's so many options out there. If you think hardware wallets are cumbersome and you don't like the way you have to plug it in and put in all the 2FA and all that stuff. If you don't want to go through all the hassle, there's a lot of mobile wallets out there that's really, really convenient and very easy to use, right? So it's a good time to be learning how to use a non-exchange wallet, okay? Let's see. Jeff Hammer, hey, always appreciate it, man. Staking on Binance US. I saw that. Binance.us, implemented all the staking, right? I don't know if this is the right time to be implementing staking. But basically what they're probably doing is they're taking the group's staked crypto and then they're go staking themselves, basically. So they're just passing on the yield from the network. If that's the case, I would say it's pretty safe. But still, in this case, Binance does control your crypto, right? So you have to be careful about that. Or you could just natively stake it yourself. Like if you're help power Solana or Avalanche or whatever project, right? You can stake natively within their wallet. They have their own wallet that you could choose, right? But if you don't want it, if you think it's too complicated, then some of the exchanges does allow you to do that, and it'll do it pretty easily, I guess. Is Nervo's going to be okay? I think they're going to survive. They survived the 2018 bottom, right? Many didn't. Many never came back from there. Nervos did, and they continue forward. So I think they could definitely come back. They had some exciting things going before the whole market turned. Gary, if you had 10K, what would you buy? If I was a beginner right now and I had 10K, first of all, I would divide up that 10K to about 10 increments, okay? So I'm not going all in at once. But I would definitely say spread out 10 ways, $1,000. I would just start out with Bitcoin and Ethereum. I would just divide it 50-50. And I would see. I'll wait and see. If the market continues to just go sideways, right? Set a schedule for myself. If somehow the market goes down, then great. I still have $9,000 that I could use, right? I'll do the same thing. Another 1,000, right? Buy into Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? DCA like that. And then as time goes on, right, just measure how things are or set a schedule for yourself and maybe even add a few more altcoins. But right now, major concentrations in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I would say more in Bitcoin than Ethereum at this point. Let's see here. A lot of people are asking about Sol right now. Sol, bad news. There's no recent bad news. There's just been a lot of previous bad news. Recently, I have not heard anything else about network outage or anything. But, the two things that people are worried about. Number one, they keep having network outages, which requires them to reboot the network, which for a decentralized network should never happen. And they had so many outages like that this year. And then number two is vast majority of Sol is held by VCs, right? But, I do think the technical difficulties that they had so far could be solved, and they're trying to solve it. So I think it's too early to just give up on them. And number two, in terms of the VCs, they're good and bad, depending on how you look at it. Because if the VCs stay in the game, and they could be picking up more, right? It could help Solana recover faster. Now, do I think they probably dumped a lot? Yeah, I think because Solana used to be very strong, and then now they've become weaker. I think a lot of them did dump a lot, and plus the FUD around the network outages, right? But I do think they're still a top L1, and they definitely can recover if the market recovers, right? So I don't think. Some people are asking, should I just switch it into something else? No, I don't think you should do that. Now, if you don't have anything else in your portfolio, maybe you should do some of it. But as long as you're following the 50-25-25 rule and you have some Solana in there as a big cap, right? That's fine. Perfectly fine. Robert, what's your thoughts on Sandman and Gala? I think they're all fantastic. You just got to give them time. Ben... George, I lost 14K on Luna, 0.9 BTC, and 12 ETH on a Celsius. Feeling a bit hopeless right now. Any chance Celsius will withdraw a fund? I mean, there's always a chance, Ben. I'm sorry you lost a tremendous amount on Luna. I did too, and so many others did as well. But as for Celsius, kind of like a double negative, right? There could be a chance they open up again if they get enough liquidity. If they can somehow get a massive loan from some other company, right, and they can open up withdrawal, there's always a chance. So right now, there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do but wait it out. So, just fingers crossed that they do allow people to withdraw their funds and somehow they figure it out. Johnny, I feel like we're at bottom, but Fed rates are forecast to raise next month. Yeah, I've talked about that. It's a matter of if Wall Street is going to price that in, right? It's not certain it's going to be 75 basis point next month, but maybe, it could be, right? So did they price that in leading up to that point, right? If they do, then okay, right? If they don't, then yeah, it could bring more volatility. Right now, we don't know. Sol's running on Windows 95. But it's very quick, though. Do you think Phantom is worth DCing? Yeah, I still like Phantom. I still hold on Phantom. I think they still have a huge ecosystem, DeFi ecosystem that I think, I think they're worth holding on to. They will recover. Sol is an unregulated credit union. Oh, you know what? I take that back. I just said, I don't hear anything bad about Solana recently. Well, there is this thing with SolLend, but people are getting confused. That's not from Solana itself. That's from a different team. It's a different app. But yeah, there's this thing about SolLend because there's a massive whale on there that borrowed a lot of USDC against their Solana. So they may be liquidated if Solana falls below 22. So there's this initiative to kind of lock out that account. Then they realized that was a bad decision. They came out another initiative to veto the first initiative. So that didn't look good either. But that's not from Solana itself. That's just from a dApp maker. Is Coinbase safe? Yeah, I think Coinbase is pretty safe. Are you familiar with TrueBit? What do you think? I remember them. Nah, I don't really recall anything that stands out with TrueBit. I think people may misinterpret what FUD means. FUD doesn't mean whether or not something is true or false, or if it's a rumor. FUD means there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay? So I think a lot of people misinterpret like FUD being like fake news, but I mean, that's not what it means. It means that there are a lot of people that are fearful, uncertain, and doubtful about something, right? But yeah. What do you think about VVS Finance? Well, that's on Chronos. I never liked their token economics. It just looks bad. The number of decimal points, I don't know. I just never got into it because of it. I always said be careful. A lot of the early DeFi projects on Chronos just looked awful to me. So I never used VVS myself. Take a look at MVG Mad Viking Games, best gaming crypto at entry price right now. Okay, well, thanks for sharing, but I'm not going to be looking at it right now. Is the Exodus wallet safe? Somewhat. If you link up your Trezor to it, Trezor wallet, I think it's much safer, but I have used it before, and some others have. If you're just using password recovery, or password and then the email recovery, that is not that safe. So be careful. A lot of people's emails get hijacked, and then their Exodus wallet somehow gets, hacked into. So be careful. How do you think a recession will impact the market? Jason, I mean, you could argue that we're already in a recession. Technical definition of a recession is 2 straight quarters where GDP falls. We're already at Q1 fall. Q2 numbers are not out yet. When it comes out, I'm pretty sure it'll show GDP declining. So technically, I think we're already in recession. So we're already seeing the effects of a recession. Now, the question is, will this recession get worse? And will we get really, really bad into like a depression kind of scenario? Hopefully not. I don't think we're there quite yet. But some people are predicting that we will if the Fed continues to raise their rates. Yeah. Leo, no. No. Summer, people asking for wallet. Ledger is the best cold storage wallet. Trust Wallet would be the best software wallet. I agree with that. Although there are many other options out there, those are 2 I use, and they are pretty darn good. All right, guys. I'll let you go. Tomorrow will be an exciting day. What is going to happen when markets open? Is it going to be green? Is this week going to be green? Right? How will Wall Street digest the rate hike and the upcoming rate hike? And what is going to happen with Bitcoin? Is it going to stay steady and continue forward, or will it see more weakness? Well, according to what I've shown you guys today, long-term holders definitely not worried. Holders themselves are stacking sats, taking advantage, and not only with Bitcoin, but with altcoins too. So this will be a very interesting week. But tune in tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. Let's look at things together. So make sure you smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.